Hi, this is Miss Shanice from Kindergarten C1. A hit. Stella's foot hurts too much for her to do any hard tricks for the 2 o'clock show. Adrian G. Instead, Mac pulls her, limping, into the ring where she tracks a circle in the sawdust. Ruby clings to her like a shadow. Ruby's eyes go wide when Snickers jumps on Stella's back, then leaps onto her head. At the 4 o'clock show, Stella can only get as far as the entrance on the ring. Ruby refuses to leave her side. At the 7 o'clock show, Stella stays in her domain. When Mac comes for Ruby, Stella whimpers something in her ear. Ruby looks at her pleadingly, but after a moment, she follows Mac to the ring. Ruby stands alone. The bright lights make her blink, and she flaps her ears. She makes her tiny trumpet sound. The humans stop eating their popcorn. They coo and they clap. Ruby is a hit. I don't know whether to be happy or sad. Worry. When Julia arrives after the show, she brings 3 thick books, 1 pencil, and something she calls magic markers. Here, Ivan, she said, and she slides 2 magic markers and a piece of paper into my domain. I like the sundown colors, red and purple. Ooh, I like purple. But I don't feel like coloring. I'm worried about Stella. All evening, she's been quiet, and she hasn't eaten a bit of her dinner. Oh, no. Julia followed my gaze. Where is Stella anyway? She asks, and she goes to Stella's gate. Ruby extends her trunk, and Julia pats it. Hi, baby, she says. Is Stella all right? Stella is lying in a pile of dirty hay. Her breath is rag. Dad, Julia calls. Could you come here in a minute? George set aside his mop. Do you think it's okay, Dad? Julia asks. Look at the way she's breathing. Can we call Mac? I think there's something really wrong. Oh no, what do you think's wrong?
Her voice.
Her voice, you think? He must know about her. George rubbed his chin like this. He always knows, but a vet costs money, Jules. Please. Julia's eyes are wet. Call him, Dad. George gazes at Stella. He puts his hand on his hips and sighs. He calls Mac. I can't hear all of his words, but I can see George's lips tighten into a green line. Gorilla expressions and human expressions are a lot alike. Mac says the vet's coming in the morning if Stella's not any better, he tells Julia. He says he's not going to let her die on him, not after all the money he's put into her. George strokes Julia's hair. She'll be all right. She's a tough old girl. Julia sits by Stella's domain until it's time to go home. She doesn't do her homework. She doesn't even draw. The promise. My domain gleams with moonlight when I awake to the sound of Stella's calls. Ivan? Stella says in a hoarse whisper. Ivan? I'm here, Stella. I sit up abruptly, and Bob topples off my stomach. I run to a window. I can see Ruby next to Stella, sleeping soundly. Ivan, I want you to promise me something, Stella says. Anything, I say. I never asked for a promise before because promises are forever, and forever is an unusually long time, especially when you're in a cage. Domain, I correct. Domain, she agrees. I straighten to my full height. I promise, Stella, I say in a voice like my father. Like this, I promise, Stella. But you haven't even heard what I'm asking yet, she says. And she closed her eyes for a moment. Her great chest showed. This. I promise anyway. Stella doesn't say anything for a long time. Never mind, she finally says. I don't know what I was thinking. The pain is making me addled. Ruby stares. Her trunk moves as if she is reaching for something that isn't there. When I say the words, they surprise me. You want me to take care of Ruby? And Stella nods. A small gesture that makes her wince. If she could have a life that's different from mine, she needs a safe place, Ivan. Not, not here, I say. It would be easier to promise to stop eating, to stop breathing, to stop being a gorilla. I promise, Stella, I say. I promise it on my word as a silverback.